When Arthur Lester received the call from Margaret Harlow, he was parked outside a small cafe, sipping black coffee and flipping through dog-eared pages of his notebook. "It's not a haunting," Margaret had said, her voice trembling like autumn leaves tumbling in the wind. "It's the house itself. It feels wrong." Curiosity twitched at the back of Arthur's mind as he made his way to the desolate outskirts of Grimsby, where the Harlow family home stood like a solitary guardian in the late afternoon fog. The once vibrant blue paint was now a faded, peeling gray, and the driveway was edged with unkempt weeds, clawing at the ground like restless fingers. As he stepped inside, the air seemed to pulse with a thick, sticky warmth, utterly unlike the cool breeze outside. The wooden floor creaked beneath his weight, and a sharp scent of mildew enveloped him, suffocating the faint trace of lavender that clung to the walls. A solitary rocking chair, positioned in an empty corner, swayed ever so slightly, its movement an unsettling invitation, as if waiting for someone to take a seat. Margaret highlighted her discomfort with subtle details that had driven her to desperation. "The lights flicker, but not like a failure," she explained, her eyes darting around as if something might spring from the shadows. "They dim for a moment longer than they should, like they're holding their breath." He walked down the narrow corridor, each step unsettling the stale air that surrounded him. The walls, adorned with faded photographs of family members long gone, watched his every move. One picture in particular caught his eye, a family portrait where the face of a man had been scratched out, leaving an empty void that seemed to stare back at him with an unsettling intensity. In the heart of the home, the living room was engulfed in a soft, flickering light, heightening the ominous ambiance. With every passing second, the temperature dropped, and a faint, almost melodic whisper edged its way through the cracks of the old house. It was then that Arthur noticed the old fireplace, the mantel cluttered with various oddities, a rusted bell jar containing dried herbs, a small, ornate dagger, and a faded piece of parchment covered in inked symbols. He reached out, his fingers brushing against the parchment. Suddenly, the soft whisper morphed into a cacophony of voices, each overlapping the last, rising with an urgency that pricked his skin with a sense of disbelief. He felt the room tighten around him, an unseen pressure inflating like a balloon ready to burst. The air turned heavy, carrying a bitter tang that made him gag. In that moment, the dim hallway behind him became illuminated by a blinding flash. Arthur turned just in time to witness the shadows coalescing at his side, an indistinct figure with glistening eyes and an open mouth, bloodless and silent, ripping the peaceful facade of the family home apart. And then, just like that, the figure dissolved into the ether, leaving nothing but a stillness that felt deafening. The rocking chair had stopped swaying, and the whispers melded back into a tense silence. With a pounding heart, Arthur retreated, his mind racing. He understood then that this house was not cursed by the presence of spectral figures, but by the very fabric of sorrow ingrained in the walls, a family breaking beneath the weight of secrets and regrets. Arthur exited the house, each step echoing back a warning, the oppressive atmosphere easing only slightly as he pushed through the threshold. The heavy air of despair lifted as he crossed the unkempt threshold, leading to fresh, cool air. The photograph caught his eye once more as he turned, an emptied void that remained a bitter memory, a protector of secrets that had long been buried. He would tell Margaret to leave it all behind. Sometimes the horrors within a home come not from what lingers beyond, but from what is held captive inside. It was the memories, the pain, and the unsaid words swirling in the air that created the true weight of wrongness. A weight he now carried with him, growing heavier with every waking moment.